So what's the deal with these exploding hoverboards, you might ask? You see it in the news. Even, what was it, England confiscated, I think it was 15,000 of them from being imported into the country. So why are these so-called hoverboards or two-wheeled self-balancing scooters exploding, you might ask? Well, it's actually a more pretty straightforward answer, if I might say. First off, in general, they come with three different I shouldn't say brands. I can't say brands and I can't say types. The style battery is all the same. They are all using a 18650 lithium-ion battery. I have one in my handy-dandy flashlight right here to show you what one of these might look like. Just like that. It is slightly larger than a AA battery. Not much, but slightly. These are fully charged 4.2 volts and dead, not 4.2 volts. This one is supposed to be a 3600 milliamp hour. Now this one, Ultrafire, is an example of a bad lithium-ion battery. Now, where all the problems stem from is you're going to get one of three battery brands slash types. You got to do brand slash types. One, you're going to get either a ultra high-end, great Samsung, made in Korea, real, genuine, excellent quality battery. That's what my boards carry. I carry and come with my boards that I sell. Nothing but the best for my customers. You could also get a very excellent, decent quality, not quite as good as the Samsung, but very decent and good as well, LG battery, in which that one seems to be what most of the knockoffs are trying to copy, is the LG for some reason. Or option number three is just generally labeled as the Samsung battery, or excuse me, as the China battery. No specific brand, it just, if you open up your hoverboard, take a look at my hoverboard internals video I did, shows the inside of one of my older versions of the hoverboards I carried, which had the LG. Now I'm going straight Samsung, nothing but the best. In fact, all my boards stop off in Korea. After the boards are built, they're tested, but then they're shipped to Korea, where the batteries are actually installed, and in Korea itself. Then shipped on to me. And I have people on the ground who verify that. But the China battery, what's the deal with the China battery? Well, there's really no brand name for the China battery per se. Basically, what happens is, you got yourself a, now we're going to go back in time a little bit here. We got ourselves a laptop battery from a laptop that no longer, quote unquote, holds it. Ooh. Work table landslide, whoops. From a laptop battery that no longer supposedly holds a charge. And I have a whole video on that too, which is in the description box. I'm putting everything I'm referencing in terms of my videos, I'm putting in the description box below. Where basically planned obsolescence with laptop batteries. There's lots of circuitry inside these, and basically when the manufacturer of your laptop thinks that, oh, he's gotten enough use out of those batteries, we're just going to say, oh, they're no good anymore. So then that's when you start to see your runtime loss, and then eventually the laptop will just say, no, the battery's no good. I'm not going to charge it. I'm not going to touch it. Nothing. So then you're stuck, because there's really some of the older laptops, like my old Dell B120 I use for printing all my shipping labels. There are ways to reset them, but most of them are not, because they want you to go spend $50, $60, $100 to get a new laptop battery. Heck, this bugger is huge. This is 6 amp hours at 14.8 volts. I mean, this thing's got 1, 2, 3, 4. This thing's got at least 8 of those 18650 cells in. What I'm getting at is, well, they always say, recycle your old batteries, recycle, recycle. You want to know what happens to those? They get boxed up, shipped to China. They pop these buggers open and take out the cells inside. And in fact, when I said that this Ultrafire is an example of a bad one, is because most of the Ultrafire batteries, and I didn't know this at the time, that's why this is the only one I got, and I'm using my flashlight because this thing doesn't last very long, and it's no big deal, I charge my flashlight up every once in a while, is these get shipped to China and they pull those batteries out. This one originally was a laptop battery. Well, what happens is lithium-ion batteries can be volatile if not handled properly. And what manufacturers do is they put what's called a PCB or protection circuitry. Problem being is, and what that protection circuitry does is it handles if there's a overcurrent event, such as like a dead short, then it disconnects, basically isolates the battery, said, nope, I'm cutting off power. It also handles over voltage, nope, I'm cutting off power, and under voltage if it drops too low, below a safe level, because if a lithium-ion cell like this drops below 2 volts, it is no longer safe to recharge. Now what happens is as they're ripping these apart, you got welded and soldered ends on each end of these, soldering each cell to each other. This one should have 6 inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one might have had 10, that big one. So instead of taking their time, taking off the welds or the solder, they just go clunk or snip, 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 grind, grind, grind. As they're pulling them apart, you lose. A lot of times they'll pull that circuitry right off. So now you got a 18650 cell like this one that has no protection circuitry. So what is the greatest idea to do with one of these? Why don't we put them in a self-balancing hoverboard, save a few bucks? And mind you, they're only saving, I import these so I know what the costs are, they're saving about $10 between going with the China battery or a high-end Samsung battery. That's it, 10 bucks. It might get them a little cheaper if there's an excess quantity of them, but that's it, about $10 cost difference for the importer like me to get crap or quality. So now they put these all together, they put them in the hoverboards, they start shipping these hoverboards all over the world. People are riding them around. You get the guy that practically lives at McDonald's, weighs 350 pounds, hop on one and go for, spend all day riding the sucker around. But because that board's moving a little extra weight, now you're pulling a little bit more amperage out of that battery. It's starting to heat up a little bit, starting to exceed some of the thermal thresholds or the amperage draw thresholds of those cells. Well, that protection circuitry is gone, and on top of that, those cheap packs, they don't usually put in the thermal sensor, or basically a little thermometer in there, so when the pack reaches its unsafe temperature, it'd cut the power off. A lot of those don't have it. Mine have that. So if the battery pack gets too hot, we're good. And all it takes is one cell to reach unsafe temperatures, and then it just goes into what's called thermal runaway. It starts getting hot, too hot. Once it gets too hot, it fires off the cell next to it. The cell next to it ends up getting too hot. Now that one starts in fire. And it's a chain reaction. It goes until the whole pack's done. And there's really no easy way to put that out. You just keep throwing water on it until it cools down. It's got to burn itself out. Is pretty much the only way you're going to stop it. I mean, you could slice one up as it's burning, toss it in a lake. It's still going to keep burning because those cells are generating their own oxygen as they burn. So it'll keep going until it goes out. Best thing you can do is just keep dumping water on it to mitigate and prevent anything around it from starting on fire. So that's one. Number two, overcharging. A lot of these cheaper chargers don't have automatic shutoff. That's a big no-no when it comes to lithium batteries. It's not as bad with lead acid because it's such a low charging rate. Well, as the voltage climbs, once you reach the full point of about 4.2 volts, you keep charging that lithium battery, you hit that magic cutoff. Once you go above that 4.2, which is the cutoff, every about 1/10 of a volt, you go up above that, so 4.3, 4.4. You greatly increase not only degradation of the battery, which would mean early failure of your battery pack, but you also increase the chances of that thermal runaway or of a fire or explosion event. More so explosion once you get the voltages up too high. It'd take me all day to explain in more detail about that, but I'm just trying to keep this as simple as possible. Likewise, undercharging, if the board decides it's not going to shut off in time and you get a few of the cells drain out a little bit too much, now those as well, and then as they're recharged back up without that protection circuitry, charging a cell that's gone below 2 volts is extremely dangerous and more prone to fire or explosion. So basically, don't cheap out. If you did buy one online or from a not reputable seller, it's not very hard. It's about 8 screws. You take the cover off the bottom and you can see the pack right there. If it doesn't say Samsung or LG on it, return it if you can, or stop using it and get a quality battery or you're risking fire. Another good tip is, even though some of the chargers, like even mine, have automatic shut off, I still don't recommend, and I don't do this with any of my higher powered lithium packs. I don't do it with my Snow Joe snowblower that's lithium ion. I don't do it with my drill batteries, and I don't do it with my Works power tools. I mean, those are quality batteries, quality companies. But after what I've seen lithium can do if handled them properly, I don't charge any of those batteries when I'm not present. So nice thing about lithium is it's no memory effect. So say you plug it in while you're having dinner, you guys decide to go out after dinner, it's not done charging, that's fine, unplug it and come back later when you get home, plug it back in again. Just don't leave it sit and plugged in overnight, especially if you have one of the super cheap ones, just to be on the safe side in case that charger doesn't shut off. It should only take from a completely dead to completely full about 2 to 3 hours for a 100% charge when the boards are new. On top of that, if you are storing your board or lithium battery, power device for more than about 2 weeks, I recommend draining it to about 50%. The life-wise degradation of the battery will severely drop. About 50% of state of charge is the ideal spot for the battery to last a very long time in storage. At 100%, you increase degradation of the battery significantly. So once again, if it's going to be stored for more than about 2 weeks, drain it down, ride it, bring it down at least a little. Something's better than nothing. Just don't leave it sit at 100%, and your battery can last you a great number of years. In fact, that's what I do with all my old batteries. This is from my very first laptop, October 21st, 1998, and guess what? It still holds almost a full charge. Actually, I got the laptop here, screen's burned out. I can still plug it into a external monitor. I'm just playing around, bringing back some old memories, maybe play some NES ROMs or some old DOS-based games. It still works, still holds an excellent charge, because I always store my batteries at approximately 50%. Now, this is January 5th, 2016, and I got that October 21st, 1998. You count the years, almost 20 years, and that battery is still excellent condition. Pop it in the laptop right now. Actually, I got one of my other ones in there. See a little green light. Check that out. I haven't touched this in about a year. So that's been sitting a year since the last time I touched it. I hope you were able to learn a little bit, and I hope I was able to help some of you maybe prevent some hoverboard or self-balancing scooter explosions. Any questions or comments, put them in the boxes below. Don't forget to check out some of the other videos that I referenced in the description box. And let's see, like and subscribe, and don't forget to join my Facebook channel. Salute!
Smile, cheese.